Live? We're live, guys. What's up? I'm just recording another video today, and I'm gonna talk about my upgrade that I just got on my monitors, which is the iLoud Precisions MTMs, and so if you haven't watched the video, my previous video, I talked about how I went from the barefoot footprint 03s and how I couldn't get my mixes to translate, and ended up sending those back. I had some technical issues with those as well. I went through two pairs of those. I ended up sending them back. I was kind of bummed out because like that was my first three-way. I came from CLA 10s before that, then the HS Yamaha series, and then I had an Atom Audio sub paired with it. So yeah, I was kind of bummed out. I sent them back, but long story short, you can go watch that other video. But I swapped them out for the iLoud Precision MTMs, which is technically a two-way. So you can imagine, like I was just bummed out about having to drop back down to a two-way or whatever. But anyway, I want to review these speakers, like a full in-depth review of the speakers, the Arc X program, the sound, what I like about it, how I use it, and just I don't really see a lot of videos out like this. Like, I mean, you can watch other videos that talk about all the technical specs and all that. So I'm not going to get into all that. You can go to a different video for that. But so on first impression, right? I plug them in. So I have a small room. I have them all. It's a lot of treatment. All you see is 3 panels back here, but the rest of the room and the ceiling, I got about like 20 acoustic panels, combination of like Roxel and fiberglass, the Owens Corning, and so it's a well treated room. But I put them against the wall, like up against as close as I could to the wall before I hit the panel behind them. And on first listen, man, like I was blown away. And right away, I knew that my mid range was flat right away. And it was just like I was hearing the music the way it was supposed to be heard. Like, I wasn't getting with the barefoots. I felt like I was getting some type of like high end sheen or like a flavor. Where with these it was just sounded just natural, right? So I was blown away. And then I did the arc measurements and all that. Then it was just like the speakers just completely opened up. The stereo image is crazy. The depth is crazy. Um, the transients are wild, crazy. And here's the thing: is like this is a ported speaker, right? And everything you hear about ported speakers is like it's not good for transients, right? It's not good for low end. You get this boomy sound, like the distortion, all that technical shit about ported speakers. I really think that IK is gonna change the game on ported speakers because I've never heard transients on a ported speaker like this, and I've never heard low end sound the way it does on these speakers. Okay, once I did the measurements, I calibrated the speakers to the room, the full advanced measurements, which is like 21 or something measurements. I mean, even before I did that, the low end sounded crazy, but I can't explain to you how tight and focused this low end is. Okay, I thought I knew what low end was supposed to sound like. I had an Atom Audio sub, right, that I paired with the different monitors I had previously. And when you have a sub, you just think like, okay, there's my sub. There's all the subs that I'm hearing, all the information. No, like this is what low end is supposed to sound like. This is like I thought I was just hearing like subs, like it just sounds boomy. No, this shit is the most controlled tight low end I've ever heard in my life, right? And I guess okay, let me double back here. So my name is G Rock. I'm a producer, writer. Uh, I mix. I do mastering for artists. I've done work for anybody from 50 Cent, Jadakiss, RZA, Be Real, all the way down to like artists you've never heard, and then artists in between. So like I've worked with a lot of people, right? I've been in. I was signed to Soul Assassin DJ Muggs for like 4 years. So I was in LA basically for like 4 or 5 years. I was in the $1 million studios. I've heard amazing speakers. So I have a good reference point is what I'm trying to say. And the low end on these speakers is so controlled and tight. It kind of blew me away. And so I'm gonna get into my measurements right now. And I'm gonna show you uh, what my room measures now. So before I had my, I'm slightly further back now, but my listening position was about 2 or 3 feet forward, or like closer to the wall. And there was a huge null. Um, I'm talking like 9 dB null in the low end, like maybe 100 hertz, and then another one like at 50. And yeah, the Arc X software corrected that, but but I thought, you know what, like I don't want the program to do that much work, if that makes sense, because once the program starts working that hard, it's gonna throw off your it's just gonna sound funky, you know what I mean? So this is the program right here. This is what it looks like. So I went ahead and just moved my listening position a little bit further back, a little bit further back, until I found the spot where it sounded the most balanced. Now I'm not looking for flat, I'm looking for balance, right? So once I found that position, I moved the studio table back. I recalibrated the monitors, and boom, then I got the I got the response that I wanted. And here's my response in the room right here. So now, with the previous measurements, I was flat from 500 to 10K. I was completely flat, but I had a huge dip. I had two huge nulls in the low ends, right? And like I said, I don't want the speaker, like I want to say, I think the Genelecs, they only do subtractive EQ. They don't do additive EQ. So I thought, you know what? If I can get the low end to just be more balanced and not have a huge null, then at least the program will essentially only be doing subtractive EQ, which is what I wanted, right? So now, because I moved further back, I made a sacrifice in this dip right here, which I'm not mad at, because these frequencies aren't really that troubling, so the program can do those. The filter of the algorithm can work with those easier, and especially right here, the 200 as well. But what I was focused on more was the low end, and this is much more balanced to what it was reading before. But as you can see here, from 1K to 10K, it's essentially flat, right? And I can't tell you how amazing these speakers sound. Like, they have their transients are so tight and clean. The high end is just like it can get as detailed as you want. I'm gonna show you how I have my room tuned right now. Like, this is the way it sounds in this position. But the program is so dope. The Arc X is so dope, and let me show you why. So this is the measurement, right? And this is not linear phase. This is natural. I have it on sharp. You can go to default, right? It changes a little bit, but not so much. Nothing crazy, right? So I'll just throw it on sharp. But here's what's dope about this program. You can tune it to how you want. So when I throw this, I have it cut off at 70, right? That's where I like to mix at 70 hertz. You can bring this all the way back to full correction. And when you have it fully corrected, the low end is just insane. I sold my sub. I sold my Atom sub. Like, I do not have a sub anymore because I don't need it. And it's one of those things that you have to hear to kind of be like, holy shit, like I never heard lows like that before, right? Like it's not boomy, um, it's not muddy. It's very just like you feel it, but it's very tight and controlled. And part of it has to do with the room I'm in, but I mean, because I have a lot of treatment, but even then, like I'm not controlling the low end as much as I could be, which I'm gonna eventually add more treatment in here. But uh, this is crazy to me because as you roll, so the speakers, I think they go minus 4 dB at like 37 hertz. I want to say it says on the website. Um, so and it corrects it all the way, and so like it's working less. So like because I'm only essentially doing subtractive EQ and not additive for the most part, I have so much more headroom with these speakers now. Like I can crank the fuck out of these speakers and I do not hit the limiter. Whereas before with the additive EQ, because I had such a crazy null around this area, like I'm talking like a 9 dB null. It was crazy. Like I'd clip, but like at this area where I'm at, I have so much more headroom now. So the way I use this program is like this. So watch, you're gonna get your speakers, you plug them in, right? You do the left one, the right one, right? And then you calibrate. You go through the whole shit, and then it brings you here to this edit page. And this edit page is so customizable. This is why I love it. So as you start to roll off the low end, the mid range. I mean, the mid range and the high end is already clear shit. But as you roll off, it gets even more crazy. Like so at 50 hertz, they sound amazing, and then I like to be at 70. At 100 is basically what I feel like the NS10 should have sounded like, right? And and it's really awesome. Like I'll just cut off all these. I'll stay at 100 if I just want to hear pure mid range, um, and high end. But at 70 for me, for my ears, is the sweet spot. So I'll stay at 70, right? And then this is where it's so dope. So look this area right here, right? It's the speaker left, speaker right, right? You can type in where you want the filter to stop working. So as of right now, you see this low end, this high end dip right here. That's because I'm not correcting after 10K. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I prefer a high end roll off. Too much high end for my ears is just really distracting. So, but you can go all the way up to 20K and it's going to correct it. I prefer not to because I don't want to add this much EQ onto the tweeters. I just don't want to. I just feel like it's going to fuck them up after long use. So I keep it at 10K. I just prefer the sound of that. But even like, I mean, this is essentially flat here. I can say, you know what? I want the filter to stop working at 1K. And now I'm getting the natural sound of the speaker. It's essentially flat anyway. And you can customize it literally down to like what you want the filter to start working at. So this is why I think this is such a versatile system, and it's super you like, for example, I mix with the 70 hertz high pass and not corrected right here. This is how I mix, right? Once I get the mix sounding crazy in at this setting, then I'll bring the 20K back, check the high end, make my changes, get it to sounding how I like it, bring it back to 10K. Then I'll check the low end, bring all the low end back, make my changes, and I'm literally done with the mix. And then maybe I'll check in headphones or whatever. And it's just super customizable. I don't really use the voicing. You can like mimic the NS1080s, NS1090s, and it's cool. Like sometimes I'll use it to get a different perspective. I know some people use it a lot. I don't really use it that much. But okay, then you come over here, you save it, you open that same session up, boom, and you go send to speakers. This sends the correction to the speakers. You can unplug the USB, and your speakers are forever corrected until you connect them back. Then you can mess with it. I keep this open while I mix. I keep this window open while I mix. When I want to check the low end, I'll bring it back. When I'm done, I'll change it back to 70. I like to keep it handy, right? So highly, highly, highly recommend these studio or these monitors. On the website, I think they claim that they are linear. Um, I think they claim they're linear to from 150 and up, and that is no lie. I've never heard direct sound like this before. I don't know what kind of wizardry they're doing in their DSP or what's going on inside the cabinet. Like I said, I before these I had the Barefoot Footprint 03s, right? And those do not nearly sound as clear and natural as these, right? Like with those, I didn't know what I didn't know if I could trust them. I take a mix out, take it to the car, it would sound great. Then I take it somewhere else and it would sound trash. With these, it's like the mix sounds great every everywhere I play it. Translates perfect. Um, they can bang. They're loud. The when I have people in here, I'll put the low end back, and people always ask, "Oh, what kind of sub?" There is no sub. And then I get so many when I have parties in here. Well, not parties, but when I have people in here and we're drinking and we're having a good time, we're just listening to music and people are tripping out. They're like, "Holy shit, I've never heard this song like this before. Like the sound in here is crazy." I get compliments all the time, and that's flat. Like we're technically listening. Like this is supposed to be dull. Like flat is supposed to be not exciting, very uninspiring, but that is not the case with these speakers. And so the Arc X program, right? I have a set of cubes, ref tone cubes that I are my secondary pair, and I have those measured with the Arc X. Now, how do you do that, right? So you once you disconnect the speakers from the USB, you can go to right here on the layout, right? You go to your layout. There's this drop down menu. You see where it says plugin? You click that, and it gives you the option to make a new measurement on different speakers, and it stores it direct to the plugin. When you get these speakers, they give you the plugin version as well, so you can do like the old school way. You throw the plugin on the master, and the speakers that aren't IK Multimedia, you can go through this plugin measurement, and it stores it to the plugin itself, so that way you can however many sets of monitors you have, you can also correct them with the Arc X program. I don't know what kind of algorithm they're using now, but like they've mastered this shit. I mean, I haven't heard Trenoff. I'm sure Trenoff is crazier, but um, I've heard Sonar Works. I don't like it. Sonar Works gets kind of like there's like a weird phasey, like hazy thing going on. Like it's not really defined. Like whatever they're using here just sounds natural. It sounds solid. If that makes any sense. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick review on this because um, it's stepped my mixing game up. I felt like I was downgrading from a three way because you're going from a three way high end boutique monitor studio monitor brand, and then you're going to IK Multimedia, technically a two way, and it's a ported speaker. So like naturally you're gonna think, no way, like it's not gonna even compete. But it not only competes, but in my opinion, it's blows it out of the water because you're paying less and you're getting way more return in value with the program because you get in the program, you're getting the DSP that can be stored in the speakers. The speakers alone are amazing. mind blowing. And I'm talking about the MTMs, and I have the Mark Ones, not the Mark Twos. Okay, so like I'm sure the Mark Twos are probably even better, but um, then you get the program as well. You get the VST as well, so you have the opportunity to measure other speakers as well and correct those, tune those speakers, and it's just really dope. I just wanted to give a full review on this program and the speakers because um, they are they are for sure like if like in a year or two these speakers aren't talked about as like you know the go-to like speaker, I'll be shocked. Like I'm just waiting for how many more years is it gonna take for these to be in every single studio because they're that good. But yeah, so I just want to give that quick little review on the speakers, how I use the program, and yeah, like I said, if you think you've heard low end, you've never heard it like this. This is the most tightest low end. Like it's so easy to make. It's so so easy to make changes to the sub and low end with these speakers because it's just so accurate and so tight. There's no boominess, which I don't even know how they're doing that because it's a ported speaker. But I don't know. Whatever they did is crazy. But shout out to IK. But you guys have a good day and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.